It was a quiet Saturday night, July the 22nd, 1933, as Mr. and Mrs. Charles Urschel were hosting their friends, Mr. and Mrs. Walter Jarrett, for a bridge match on their back porch. The Urschels were a well-to-do family living on Northwest 18th Street in Oklahoma City. Urschel had made a fortune in the oil business and was married to the daughter of another prominent Oklahoma oil man, the late Tom Slick. All was quiet until about 11:15 when suddenly two men, one armed with a machine gun, the other with a pistol, burst through the screen door and asked which man was Urschel. Receiving no reply, they remarked, "Well, we'll take them both," then put them in the back seat of a Chevy sedan and drove rapidly away. Mrs. Urschel telephoned J. Edgar Hoover, head of the FBI, and reported the kidnapping. Special agents were dispatched to the home. At 1 a.m. Sunday, July 23rd, Jarrett made his way back to the Urschel residence. The victims had been driven to the outskirts of the city. After crossing a small bridge and arriving at an intersection, they put Jarrett out of the car after they had identified him and had taken $50. Several days elapsed before word was received from the kidnappers. On July 26, J.G. Catlett, a wealthy Tulsa oil man and close friend of Urschel, received a package through Western Union. It contained a letter addressed to E.E. Kirkpatrick of Oklahoma City, which read in part, quote, "Immediately upon receipt of this letter, you will proceed to obtain the sum of $200,000 in genuine used Federal Reserve currency in the denomination of $20 bills." The money was collected. A week went by, and finally, at about 11:30 the evening of July 31st, 1933, Urschel returned home, exhausted. Urschel had been able to keep track minute by minute of every move his kidnappers made, and eventually agents were able to pinpoint the house near Paradise, Texas, where Urschel had been chained to a chair for just over a week. Even before Urschel was released, the FBI learned that George Kelly, Machine Gun Kelly, and his wife Catherine, among many others, were responsible for the kidnapping. The first 6 who were arrested were tried in federal court in Oklahoma City on October 7th. Judge Vaught read the jury's verdict.
Now, in this case, the jury has returned the verdict of guilty.
Now the government was ready to try Machine Gun Kelly and his wife. Judge Vaught issued this verdict in their case.
It's the judgment of the court that George R. Kelly be sentenced to the federal penitentiary for the term of his natural life.
Altogether, 21 persons were convicted in the case, 6 receiving life sentences. On July 17, 1954, Kelly died of a massive heart attack at the federal prison in Leavenworth, Kansas. Perhaps Machine Gun Kelly should best be remembered from a line that he penned to his kidnapping victim. In one of his final letters to Charles Urschel, Kelly wrote, "These 5 words seem written in fire on the walls of my cell. Nothing can be worth this."